question is this, that he wants to know whether human beings are progressing or deteriorating. That's all. Then easy to understand, isn't it? This is a very big problem. And actually we do not know what is happening to us. We think we are progressing. Man's discoveries, scientific discoveries, provided more and more facilities for human beings to survive. Naturally, population increase. Then, I think you can remember, I spent nearly 2 or 3 months to explain one particular discourse of the Buddha that is called Cakkavattī Sīhanāda Sutra. Sīhanāda means lion's roar. Cakkavattī means universal monarch who rules the whole world. This is the title of this particular discourse. In that particular discourse, the Buddha has explained how human life or way of life, way of thinking, development originated, and how all these things went on increasing, developing up to the maximum level. Again, he has given the reasons why this development, this progress started to deteriorate, decline, then goes down to the lowest degree, zero. This is the nature of existence. Not only once or twice. The wheel of existence, our life, is like that. The continuity, life processes, if not the way of life, way of thinking, all these things are changeable from time to time. Circumstances, environment, atmosphere, our way of thinking, our likes and dislikes, all these things contribute for these changes. And there is no such external agency to handle, to manipulate our way of life. It is due to our way of thinking, our way of doing things. All these changes take place. In the first verse of the Dhammapada, the Buddha's advice, Mano Pubbangama Dhamma. Mind is responsible for all these existing things in this universe. If changes take place, either for good purpose or bad purpose, if we experience pleasant or unpleasant feeling, human mind is responsible for that. These sayings of the Buddha, people could not understand. Recently, The United Nations, in their human charter, preamble to the human charter, this statement was recorded by repeating what the Buddha has said. Although they were not Buddhists, they realized the truth. What is recorded there? War begins in the man's mind. At the same time, the same human mind can find out the solution to maintain peace. United Nations. That is what the Buddha says. For all these good and bad, pleasant and unpleasant feeling that we experience are due to our human mind. Human mind is the most energetic, dynamic force in this universe. Human mind can change the whole universe. There is no any other agency which can change the whole universe. Let us take very minor thing that human mind has discovered. So far, discovered only that much. If man can develop this mind further and further and further, that mind can discover wonderful thing that human mind also cannot understand. Nuclear weapons, atomic energy, atom bomb, discovered by human mind, not by God or devil. Discovered by human mind, can be used not only to destroy this earth, all the living beings or things, and reach up to the moon and suns and galaxies. So the galaxies also will be affected. So whose discovery is that? Man's. On the other hand, another discovery revealed 2,500 years ago under the Bodhi tree. Isaac Newton discovered something under apple tree. Formerly human beings never heard anything about gravity. They were in the dark. Newton discovered. That is his enlightenment. And another person gained a wonderful enlightenment and discoveries revealed to us under the Bodhi tree. He was the Buddha. He realized the secret of this universe, secret of this life, the secret of our unhappiness, unsatisfactoriness and suffering, secret of our pleasant and soothing and nice and calm and serene feeling. He found out under the Bodhi tree. That is the maximum level that a human mind can be used for good purpose. For the bad purpose, is not so far human mind did not discover the maximum, only very minor thing, atom bomb. in time to come, they will discover furthermore. This is the nature of human mind. Now you can understand what the Buddha said in Dhammapada, the first stanza, why human mind is responsible for all our pleasant and unpleasant experience. It is due to our ignorance, lack of understanding, that we always refer to somebody else, above or below, that they are responsible for all good and bad things in this world. It is due to our ignorance, because we cannot understand. Everything that which we cannot understand, analyze, then we say, oh, it come from heaven. If not, influenced by devil. But we have no mind to understand this. God and devil both are here inside. It depends how we use this energy. When this mind is trained, developed, you know how to make use of this energy. What is happening at the moment? What is the nature of our mental energy? How do we use this energy? For what purpose? Very sad. Utter wastage. We are wasting our mental energy through our five senses every second, through our imagination, 6 channels, outlet, 6 outlets. Every minute we are wasting, using mental energy. For what? Then we can understand whether we are progressing or declining. It is like this. In a jungle, there's a big waterfall. The water pouring day and night. They just flow, spread all over the country. By using our intelligence, engineers find out that he can utilize this waterfall to produce something which is serviceable, usable, without wasting. And then he made a dam to collect the water. Then produce hydroelectricity to illuminate the whole country. If not, divert this water through proper channel for the cultivation. The method taught by the Buddha for us to channel our mental energy without wasting through these 6 senses, to guard, to charge the battery in our mind without wasting. So in simple language, we say meditation, contemplation, concentration, mindfulness, awareness, understanding, realizations, so many words are there. So if you know how to make use of one of these things, the mental energy that we waste, we can utilize for our own benefit, to find out the aim of our life. At the moment, we have no aim. We have no purpose in our life. We do not know why we are here, what we are doing, why we are like this. We won't get the answer. But when we harness, develop this mental energy, and where we are, and what is the purpose, how to reach that final goal, to overcome, to end all these things which we don't like. Life is a big battle. Day and night we are fighting. Fighting for what? To overcome, to get rid of many things that we don't like. But it is a losing battle, because the method that we have adapted to find out the solution is not the correct method. That is why I told you it is a losing battle. We want to get rid of our sicknesses. You can suppress here and there, patch up here and there, but no solution. We want to get rid of our old age, not to suffer. We use a little bit of gadget here and there, not to show our old age. That's all. We don't like to have sufferings, unpleasant feeling, but every minute we are experiencing. We don't want to gain unwanted thing, unpleasant thing, but always we get. We have to come across. We want to gain many things, but we won't gain. These are the things which bother, disturb our mind. While struggling in this way, we never get the answer. The method was discovered, explained by the Buddha. If you don't like to suffer, it is due to our ignorance. Always we go on praying and worshipping and reciting this and mantras and tantras and sutras and this and that, performing this, burning this, cutting this, offering this. A small children way of doing things. You don't want to approach directly towards your problem. You want to hide things. Let us take a simple example. You don't want to face fact. Husband and wife fight. Then either husband or wife come to the temple, come and tell us, we do not know, we two are fighting, we are not in good terms, can you please pray for us? If not, you say, I want to go and pray. I want to tell God to stop our fight. I want to tell Buddha. Instead of doing all those things, why these two people cannot understand that fighting is bad? Why can't they make up their mind not to fight anymore? Then where the weakness? In our own mind. And we never try to find out where the mistake. Why we fight? Why we want to argue? We don't want to find out. So we behave like hypocrite without facing fact. We are not ready to admit our own weaknesses. We always blame another person. These are the problems. Now let us come back to find out whether we are progressing or not. Yes, we are leading a very comfortable, pleasurable, luxurious life compared with the primitive people's life in the jungle. At that time, no proper food and not certain whether they could find out anything to eat because they have not collected, accumulated anything. No proper shelter, no house, no hut, either under a tree or caves or jungle. No clothing, some are fully naked and some others found out some either dry leaves or bark just to cover a little bit. And no amusement, entertainment, cinema and all sort of things that we are experiencing. No television, no telephone, and no cosmetic to decorate themselves. And today we have more than enough, and we do not know what to do. We know how advanced we are. One lady from a country who had to run away by carrying all her belongings. When she left, people found out. Few thousand pair of shoes, few thousand blouses or dresses to cover one body, one physical body, one human body. How many thousands she has taken with her? Now you can understand how we enjoy our life. This is called progress. How did she collect all these things? How did she get money to buy all these things? Poor man's money, laborers' money, coolies' money, innocent people's money collected. Because they do not go and work and draw any salary. All this money come from the poor people, innocent people, and how they enjoy life. This is called development, progress. So we do not know whether we are marching toward the correct direction or whether we are marching towards our grave. I think we are digging our own grave. We cannot wait until we die and some others dig our grave. We cannot wait. This is called our progress. Long ago, we had some sort of fear in our mind for our security, for our survival, that animals, devils or ghosts always come and disturb us. We had that fear. So our education, scientific education, enlightened us, given us some ideas how to escape from those dangerous animals. Now we can escape from them. Our education enlightened us. The fear that we have developed in our mind about devils and ghosts and spirits, mostly our imagination. If we don't believe, if there is no such fear in our mind, nothing will happen to us. The fear that we created in our mind because of them creates sicknesses, troubles and problems. If your mind is strong enough, if you know how to strengthen your mind, there is no devil, no ghost, no hantu to come and disturb you. They cannot do that. So it clearly shows your minds are very, very weak. You abuse your human intelligence. You surrender yourself to those stupid devils and ghosts. They are stupid. They have no intelligence. You have intelligence. Is it not disgraceful thing for you to go and worship to those devils and ghosts? You are disgracing. You do not know how to maintain your human dignity. Where is your education? You say you are educated. Still go and worship those devils and ghosts. The Buddha wanted to teach us how to strengthen this mind, to overcome these weaknesses, this kind of fear from our mind. But we are still stupid. Even in the name of religions also we are doing silly things. We don't want to learn the real teachings, but we do something else. What is happening? In spite of modern development, discoveries, scientific discoveries, education, while leading comfortable, lazy life, material development gone or created or developed up to the maximum level. Material development. A spiritual development is no more there. So, degeneration of that spiritual or development or purity and material development, this is the main cause of our problem. We are crazy for worldly life. How many hours a day we spend for this physical body? To decorate, to dress up, to look after, to feed, to wash, to clean, to have makeup, to take medicine. How many hours you spend just to maintain this? It is necessary for you to wash and clean because a lot of dirt come and completely pollute our physical body. How many hours do you use to cleanse your mind? Do you know every minute you dirty the purity of your mind? But how many hours do you spend to cleanse the mind that you dirty? This is the problem. You want to decorate your body. You want to wash and clean your body. But you don't want to cleanse your mind. Instead, you are going on accumulating, collecting more and more rubbish in your mind. You develop more craze, more selfishness, more jealousy, more anger and hatred, more intolerance. You are going on worrying and crying and fighting and quarreling, disturbing, accusing, blaming, cursing. Do you know every mental action pollute the purity of the mind? Do you know that? Then when are you going to cleanse this mind that you have polluted? But you want to decorate this to show off. Inside here, boiling with hatred, jealousy, stupidity. But outside, very nice dress, diamond, gold, beauty, very expensive thing. Inside, rubbish, cow dung, mud here. This is called development. When they express their ideas, can understand real stupid. Some of them are graduate, well educated, but inside rubbish. And what is that education? Book knowledge. They can remember what is in the book. That is education. Memory. No realization without any book. If you know how to make use of human mind without studying even ABCD, we can understand things. Many of those great thinkers who lived few thousand years ago, I don't think they have studied even ABCD. Look at their way of thinking, how they understood. One sayings of such great teachers that they have made even without studying ABCD. Still we cannot understand the deeper aspect, the meaning. Let us take few sayings of Confucius. What a wonderful sayings. How deep. The Buddha has gone beyond that. Further and further. Not only the Buddha or Confucius. It has taken many other Indian rishis, great philosophers. What a great philosophy and psychology. Even modern psychologists also cannot understand how they have developed. Even Jesus Christ, certain sayings are beautiful, very meaningful. We must know how to respect all these things. The trouble with us, we concentrate more on worldly life, material gain, to beautify and decorate our physical body, our houses, but not our mind. Inside our mind, all this rubbish. Just now I told you, those days we were scared. We had fear of animals, ghosts, devils. Today, we know how to escape from them. But can we escape from human beings today? These human beings are educated. They have religions also. They have culture. But those devils and animals haven't got anything. The time has come for each and every human being to carry a weapon to protect himself or herself from another human being. not from devils or animals. See the development of mankind. We build beautiful houses, we accumulate property, jewelry, money, then iron gate, wooden gate, iron chains, padlock, glass doors, burglar alarm, and Alsatian dog, and security guard also. And at night time, who come and disturb you? Devil? Animals? Ghost? Nobody. So-called your good friend human beings. See what a wonderful development. What sort of human mind? The religion also, they misused, abused, used for their material gain. That is why they develop jealousy, competition to convert people. Do you think they are working to send you to heaven? All these are business, wonderful business in the name of religion. Poor people become their victims. Whatever human beings handle, whether it is religion, education, culture, or even service, in every action, in every thought, you can see some sort of selfishness, some sort of cunningness. Otherwise they never do anything. Without selfishness, without cunningness, they never handle anything. This is the biggest problem. The development in human mind has taken place with crookedness or cunningness or selfishness. How many honest human beings can you find in this world today? Real honest. We pretend we are honest. This is more than enough for us to understand. If there is no honesty, then we cannot do anything without facing problems. We make agreement with consulting with lawyers. We draft all sorts of constitutions following the law. But the same human mind, later we develop to violate this agreement. Then bluffing, swindling, cheating, you can find there. Human mind. This is the danger of this human mind. When we developed that mind without proper discipline, training and understanding. This is the way how human beings are developing, progressing. All over the world, human beings are in fear, shivering, uncertainty of their life, any moment. Whether they are Buddhists or Christians or Muslims or Hindus or communists or otherwise, no difference. All of them are human mind. In every human mind, there are three roots of evil forces. So religions are labels, just to use. That label cannot change that mind. You can say today you are Buddhist. Tomorrow you can say you become Christian. Still you maintain same evil roots in your mind. After becoming a Christian, you have not purified your mind. Even after becoming Muslim or Hindu also, you never change anything. Just create imagination. That's all. Today you are Buddhist. Can we say Buddhists are more honest than Christians and Muslims and Hindus? Can we prove? Have you got evidence that Buddhists are more honest? Buddhists never bluff others? That's why I told you, this religious label is not important. There are many others who have no religious label at all. But they also maintain some sort of humane qualities, good nature, good behavior, good conduct, without depending on any religion. That's why I'm telling you this, don't worry about these religious labels. They will give you a label. He did not ask you to tell that you are Buddhist. He did not say if you don't embrace Buddhism you go to hell. He said, first you must understand that you are human beings. Then you must understand, as human beings, what are the duties, how to behave as human beings, how to live as human beings, by maintaining human dignity, without abusing your human intelligence. You have intelligence. Then, when you are going to enjoy your life, he did not say that you should not enjoy your life. Never. When you are going to enjoy your life, remember, to enjoy without disturbing others, to enjoy your life without bluffing others, not to enjoy your life at the cost of other living beings. These are the principles. Whether you are Buddhist or otherwise makes no difference. This is the way how to lead a respectable, noble, gentle human life. Then naturally, whether you use or not, you are leading a religious life, although you are not belong to any religious group. Although you do not believe any Buddha or any Bodhisattvas or any God. This is the important aspect, not your belief. You can believe any rubbish, but when you analyze, there is nothing. But here this is practical, noticeable, can understand. But in your belief, nobody can understand what you believe. Now when we argue, two religious groups, I try to justify my beliefs are right. Then another religious group try to show their belief is correct. Then argue. Because of this argument, we get angry, we lose temper, we attack each other. Why? We are arguing, attacking criticizing, condemning the things which we cannot understand. Remember this. That is why we argue. That is why we get angry. Because we cannot prove. They are belief and imagination. When another person comes and attack, we get angry because there is nothing to prove. This is the nature of belief. The Buddha never introduced this kind of belief for you to maintain. Today, it is mentioned that more than 4,000 millions human beings exist on this earth. I remember one day somebody asked this question. Now we are preaching and teaching and working to attain Nirvana. So what will happen to this world if all these human beings attain Nirvana? I remember one day somebody asked this question. Now we are preaching and teaching and working to attain Nirvana. So what will happen to this world if all these human beings attain Nirvana? Then I told them, if all these human beings disappear from this earth, then this earth, this world become very peaceful. Nobody to disturb. Very fortunate. Human beings are the troublemakers. Human beings are the living beings who destroy this world. Other living beings do not destroy this world. We destroy everything. Human being. All the other living beings that appear on this world or in this world to contribute something to maintain this world. Because of our ignorance, selfishness, we destroy them. The jungles and the rocks and the hills and everything, the natural things that appear to maintain climate and atmosphere, we destroy them for our pleasure, disregarding what will happen in time to come. Cut down all the trees. Through our factories to produce various things for our own benefit. We pollute the purity of the water, all the chemical and poisons and dirt for fish, those living animals. We destroy them. After that we catch them and eat. Again we get all sorts of sicknesses. So we destroy the world, we destroy other living beings, we destroy jungle, we pollute the water, we pollute the air. In time to come, we won't be able to breathe like this air pollution. So every person must have oxygen tank. Cannot breathe. We pollute air. This is called development. This is our development. At the beginning I told you, we are going on digging our own grave through our development. Then, because of this material development, we become more and more crazy, develop more and more craving and selfishness. When selfishness and craving developed in the mind, naturally jealousy appears in that mind. When jealousy appeared in that mind, anger, hatred, ill will, grudge appear in that mind. When anger and hatred appear in that mind, we want to harm destroy, disturb others. Now you can understand where the spot area, the trouble was originated at the beginning. When the Buddha said, our own craving, our selfishness, our desire is the main cause of all our problems and worries and suffering in this world. People ask, how come? Because they cannot understand. If there is no craving, no selfishness, we never develop all the other evil forces in that mind. Never. No reason. They never appear. If there is no selfishness and craving, if you are not greedy, fear never appears. Fear of devil, fear of spirit, fear of animal, fear of human being, fear of sicknesses, fear of old age, fear of death, and fear of everything because of craving. So how can we say craving is not the main cause? Then you can ask, how can we live without craving? Yes, it's a very important question. Here, the craving we had to measure in various ways. We crave for others' belonging, properties. That is poisonous craving. So we try to avoid this craving, but still craving is there. We crave for our own property, but we don't want to crave for others' things. Your money, your jewelry, your land, your houses, your property, you crave. It is natural. But this craving can create so many disturbances, unhappiness, insecurity, disappointment. It is true. Life also in danger because of your property. By realizing this, you reduce little by little. If not, hand over in proper time your children or charitable organization, religious institution or poor people. Get rid of this burden. Now the mind is free. Nobody wants to kidnap you. No jealousy. Others have no jealousy because you have no property. Others never try to bluff you. Nothing for you. There's no reason for you to go and hide. You can sleep peacefully. The burden you have reduced. Or still you have craving. Craving for this body. This is my body. Don't touch. My body, I crave. I can kill thousands of others to protect myself. I love this. I like this so much. Craving. Then we realize, I am in fear because of my life. I have to suffer from sicknesses. I don't like it. Getting old, I don't like it. One day I had to die, I don't like it. All these problems I had to face because I am holding this structure, this frame. This is a frame, not life. This is not life. This is a house. when this house is going, decaying and decaying and decaying, going to collapse, we worry because we are inside this house. Life is an energy. This is the house for that life energy to remain, to exist. So our duty is to cultivate that life, not this house. This house is subjected to decay and collapse because these are elements, materials, collapse, particles, disappear. So if we concentrate this physical body as our life, we are not wise. So we have to pay more attention, concentration towards our life. The development in our life can be seen how far we have cleansed our mind, because the mind is the main force. How far we have purified, cleansed that. How far we have understood, developed our understanding to get rid of our imaginations and ignorance. Then the development is there. Reduce this craving toward the body. Still there is craving. See how many stages are there. Still there is craving. What is this craving? Craving for that life, not the body. Then we pray after our death to go to heaven and enjoy our life. Craving. This is the thing that many people have not realized. It is a craving. If there is craving, there is no purity in that mind. If there is no purity, if there will be another existence either in heaven or anywhere, that is also changeable, impermanent. That life also changeable. We have not realized this. Still we have not reached the aim or the final target, final goal. After landing somewhere, we think we have landed or we have reached the final goal. That is what the Buddha says. After gaining his enlightenment, he said, before I become the Buddha, I too had this belief. And all the other existing religions in India also maintain the same belief, that they have discovered the final goal. What is that? Brahma world. They can exist there without any visible or tangible, noticeable physical body. Life is there. They thought that is the final goal. The Buddha says no. In that life also, certain degrees of craving, ignorance remain. They are not completely free from craving for existence and ignorance. Therefore, again, another rebirth can take place. So that is not the final goal. This is the discovery of Buddhism. Otherwise, so many other morals and ethics and precepts and religious practices, way of life, all those things are there in India. They are not new discoveries, not discovered by the Buddha. Many other existing religionists also practice. The Buddha acknowledged, accepted, respected many of those existing religious beliefs. But in the end, he said, there's only one thing that they have not discovered. That is the final goal. That is called nirvana. By keeping, praying, worshipping, maintaining anxieties, we never gain nirvanic bliss. That must be free from craving, selfishness, anxieties, ignorance. Complete purity. So the development in human life, if you stop halfway after gaining material development, again we get into trouble. Forever we had to fight. Forever we had to maintain fear and suspicion. And mind never become free from selfishness and anger and jealousy and grudge. Then the fear and suspicions, insecurity, fear of death, again we had to experience. When we go on developing worldly life to experience more and more pleasure, Anya hi labhupanisa, anya nibbana gamini. These sayings of the Buddha distinguish, pointed out differences. The nature of worldly life, worldly progress, and the nature of spiritual progress, a spiritual way of life. Two lines. It is impossible for anyone to bring these two lines together. Impossible. These two things are entirely two different angles. Now if we want to lead a worldly life, to experience worldly pleasure and happiness and enjoy our life, yes, we can do that. But while enjoying, crying and fightings and quarrelings and weepings and accusing and blaming and cursing and again maintaining fear and suspicions and insecurity, enjoy, fight and kill and burn and cut, enjoy. Whole world is enjoying today. See the nature of human mind today. Those days people have introduced game for people to relax, to reduce their tension. But today, in any part of the world, when people introduce game, you can see how they create bloodshed, violence, fear, even at the field of this game. See how much we have polluted this human mind. Their selfishness. They cannot do anything without violence, without bloodshed. Religions also they try to introduce through violence and bloodshed and jealousy. How can we say we are progressing? We are leading an artificial life. Inside, shallow, poisonous thoughts, cunningness and cleverness developing. We are very clever. After committing all sorts of evils, we know how to escape. Cleverness. all sort of monkey tricks. Whatever law introduced by the government, you know how to violate, to find out loopholes. Where is the development? If human beings cannot live without fear, cannot live freely, then where is the development? We have nice road, wonderful motor cars, aeroplane, beautiful houses, electricity, televisions, telephones and everything, development. But everybody is shivering. What sort of development is this? Then the Buddha's advice. You never experience the real development of the human mind. Never experience real peace, happiness, contentment, satisfaction in your life through worldly development. Forever you have to fight. But when you get into the other path, by maintaining contentment, that means we think this is enough. This is enough for me. This is enough for our family. Contentment. After that, you never develop jealousy. No reason for you to create enemies, because your contentment guard you, protect you. After this contentment, you develop more and more patience, calmness. Then you don't develop cruelty, enmity in your mind. This is the nature of this spiritual path. So you go on cultivating, developing this way of life. Of course, that is very hard. While cultivating this, going through this spiritual development, nobody wants to fight with you. There is nobody to create jealousy. Nobody wants to interrupt you, disturb you. Everybody respects you. Whatever religions that you are belong. If you have some good qualities, humane qualities, kindness and patience, everybody respects you. This is the nature of spiritual development. But what to do? We are crazy for this worldly life. The spiritual development is nothing for us. What we need to gain more and more money, income, to enjoy. In the end, no time to enjoy, kick the bucket. Enough. Now kick the bucket, enough. So, did you get the answer to your questions? Okay, sir. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumodittva jirang rakkantu loka sasanang ittauta ca amhehi sampatang punya sampadang sabbi deva namodantu sabba sampatti siddhya devo vasatu kalena sassa sampatti hetu ca pito bhavatu loko ca raja bhavatu dhammiko idang jati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yau nibbana pattiya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.